Hey everybody, so good to see you. How are we feeling? Feeling great? All right, I feel like a better stage couldn't have been set for everything we're about to talk about, sort of tying music and things that we love on the consumer level and in our lives to things that we can better on chain. So I'll pass it over to my co-founder now, Toki, to talk a little bit about the state of music right now.
Yeah, it's not very good. I think there's a lot of press you guys have seen. I mean, now it's getting highlighted a lot more, the sort of devaluation of music. There's an extreme payment lag for musicians like myself. There's a lack of transparency. And what we can do with the technology available is really change all that. You know, artists shouldn't have to take on things that are not related to music in order to, you know, get the money that allows them to make music. If we love our musicians, that's what they should do. They shouldn't have to be on TikTok unless they want to be. They shouldn't have to sell merch unless they want to. They shouldn't have to tour unless that's what they want to do. Like, I want to be wearing this because I want to, not because I'm getting paid to, you know? So, but there are so many solutions, and my co-founder will explain.
Exactly. So when we were analyzing sort of the music space and how blockchain could really make an intervention, we were looking at what was the current and only recurring revenue stream for musicians out there that they could rely on. And then unfortunately, as we know, they cannot currently. And that's streaming, right? That's music streaming. That's how we interface with music every day. Right now, that system is completely broken, inefficient, intransparent. Artists will be streamed to the ground and make $100, right? So we analyzed that industry and all the different pain points and saw that the blockchain was actually a perfect, blockchain can fix this, crypto can fix this moment with streaming because of accurate attribution, real-time payments, and the type of identity building that you can do on chain around your interaction with music. So anyway, we'll dive into a little bit on how we're approaching that problem. But the first thing to know is that if we're going to support musicians with the blockchain, we have to think through sustainable solutions for how they're generating revenue on the value that they're bringing to the industry.
When we have better streaming for artists, we have better streaming for everyone. If you give artists a way to empower themselves and you give fans a way to empower these artists that you believe in, we will all benefit at the end with more amazing art.
So right now, the streaming market is vast, huge, and monstrous. The advent of streaming completely flipped sort of the economics of music on its head. But the creatives are seeing but a fraction, but an evil fraction, right, of the value that they bring to the table. And streaming isn't going away. Right now, Spotify alone as a company is accounting for about 20% of the revenue on publishing and, you know, royalties that artists are seeing. So we can't undo what has been done. We can't undo this behavior, but we can introduce new models that better the system for creatives, better the system for users, and ultimately lay the foundation to take a little bit of the power out of these centralized systems that paved the way for where we are now. But taking a step back from the blockchain, just in general, what does better music streaming look like for creatives?
So when we see better streaming for creatives, a lot of it is what we can do together. What can the listener and what can the artist do together to create a more symbiotic relationship? And we see more direct fan support, in which a good example I'd like to give is if I'm an artist on Spotify, I don't know who my top listeners are. You know, if you've been spending 99% of your time listening to my music, I would love to know that. And we can incentivize that relationship and really grow a stronger bond. There's definitely a faster and more transparent payout because blockchain is instant, it is transparent, it is fast. And we also see new income resources. This is a completely new way to pay an artist if it is more direct and not just a price per stream, which is very, very, very small.
And what does that mean for a fan? I think looking at what streaming can be and what it isn't right now is bringing us closer to the love of the music and the creators that we have in the moment that we're interfacing with music the most. Right now, major platforms are incentivized to keep the power out of the hands of the artist, keep the power out of the hands of the consumer, because they're benefiting, right, from making sure that you're listening to music that keeps you on screen, that keeps you in app, and that keeps revenues flowing to music that they know is more profitable for them and for their major stakeholders. But crypto is a positive-sum game. Crypto is one where you can actually create systems where a platform does not need to control what music you're listening to. And in fact, the winner, right, is the creative that wins. And at Sonu, we've created a positive-sum game around streaming and around crowdsourcing the support that you need from your biggest fans to also take away a bit of the stranglehold that the label currently has on the artist, so that at the end of the day, a creator can own their work, own their masters, own their publishing, crowdsource what they need from their community, and then ultimately have a system and a platform that helps their music get heard because it's good music through people, through humans, through connection, and having all of that reputation on chain so that other platforms and communities can use that information to create better experiences around music. So Sonu, when music first entered the scene in crypto, we saw a lot of what was working with JPEGs being played out with what was happening with music, right? We saw a lot of edition sales, one-of-one sales, and I thought this is great, right? We've introduced a new type of merch that creatives can leverage to earn from their communities, earn from their fans, expand their communities. But we were doing very little to track who those people were, to verify that they were fans, right? Build community after the fact. And as all these different one-off plays were working, there was no sustainable revenue being created. So in Sonu, what we created is a marketplace where an artist can sell a song to a fan or a group of fans, but right now it's to one fan. Sell a song to a fan, a little bit off the top of that support feeds back into the protocol and is distributed pro rata to every single song in the system, so that as one win, everyone wins. What this introduces is an opportunity for artists and their biggest supporters to win together. So you're introducing a new revenue stream that an artist can share with their biggest supporters and with their community. You're creating sustainable revenue that's constantly coming in as different artists and different communities are participating. You're forging a one-of-one relationship with fans and the creator, giving them that access to, like, not only are the people, like, not only do you know, like, who's showing up to stream your music 90% of the time, you know who are the people that will, like, actually shovel up and show up for you and go above and beyond to support you in your career so that you can keep doing what you do best. And at the end of the day, that means that you've elevated your fandom beyond what we can currently track. Like, this is a way to marry you to the journey of an artist's journey. It's a way to show that you were there, that you will keep showing up, and ultimately, all of this data being on chain means that whatever companies like IYK or Sound or Zora, right, want to do with this tech and this data, kind of sky's the limit on the experiences that you create for musicians and their fans.
So by buying one, you really support everyone in this ecosystem. And I think that is kind of what blockchain and crypto is all about, right? When we decentralize from a main power, everyone really benefits from that. And with Sonu, we are focusing mostly on music and audio and the way that we can really empower these creators to just continue to soundtrack our life in the most beautiful way.
Exactly. It's a one for all for one mentality, positive sum games at the end of the day. And go back.
These things are complicated, you guys.
I can't, we did it, we
don't
went
know.
back. So to everyone in the room that's building in consumer, in crypto, you have to remember that what we're playing with here are incentives. And it's a massive game of incentives, and we've seen a lot of sort of that degen mentality of speculation first, find utility later, but you can get smart with how you build systems. And when we were designing the system for Sonu, we're like, how do we reward the behaviors that we already take as consumers, right? Streaming, curating, showing up and supporting artists, and make it so that as you're winning, as the collector, right? You're saying, okay, I bought a song from my favorite artist, and now every 2 weeks I'm earning alongside that creator. As a curator, we'll be introducing curation rewards, where if you're funneling music and streams to artists, you're their distribution method. You should see some of the impact that you're having on creatives, and we can build that. If you're a platform that's funneling streams to creatives, you would feel that as well. And ultimately, right, that makes it the streaming itself is free, so that you no longer have a paywall between artists and their new fans. You no longer have one centralized platform, right, that controls this data or this access, and you open the doors for a much more holistic, a much more nuanced music experience to exist. But all of these actions and all of these rewards lead to more transactions, more volume entering the system, that is a positive sum game for artists and their fans. So we'll leave you with this. The future of music streaming is you, but you have to participate in it. So before the end of the day, definitely open app.Sonu.Stream and take a peep at all the artists that are participating there, auctioning there, stream their music, push rewards, get involved, because we can build as much infrastructure as we want in this world, but nothing's going to change if we don't step up and actually participate in these systems that do better for creatives. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.